Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I just wanted to do a quick, and I mean quick, this is my lunch break, so it's going to be a quick tutorial on how to do your nails, to put the strips on, because I know for a few of you, this is brand new, and for a few people, you've also tried something like this before and had a hard time. So I'm just going to show you how I do them. I'm not saying this is the perfect way to do them, but this is what I do. A few things you need. You need the prep pad that'll come with your sets. I usually have a cuticle pusher. These are pretty inexpensive at the grocery store. I have some wooden ones, so when I see you, I'll be happy to give you one. And your nail file. And I usually don't even use this right away. I usually don't use it until maybe like 10-15 minutes after I'm done putting my nails on, because I just find that once they adhere a little bit better, then it's a little easier to use this. And then you're gonna need your sets. And for today, I already have some set on. This is Flag Time Girl that I had on as my last patriotic manicure for the summer. So a couple of them, I did this manicure in 10 minutes right before bed a little while ago. And so I kind of did it really quickly. Wasn't overly happy with the way I did it, but it was cute, it worked. I did have one thing, didn't push my cuticle all the way back, and so I put one of the strips just kind of over the cuticle, and it lifted at the back. Can kind of happen if you don't push it in good and have it adhere really good, and so it was catching my hair. Now that I have long hair, I've noticed that happens a lot more often. So what I typically do is first I just kind of take and push back my cuticles gently so that they're not really adhered to the nail, and I have space to put the color straight on. So I do that first with them, and as you can see, these I cleaned, I took the polish off, and then just cleaned them up a little bit with some soap and water, and again, doing this super fast. But so I push those back. Next thing you want to do is take your prep pad, and you just need to wipe it off. And this just preps the nail. Make sure that it's, dried with a little bit of alcohol, that your strips are gonna stick really well. So I do that. And then I just kind of make sure that the tips around it, there's nothing, no jagged edges. I try and file them off a little bit, just to make sure that they're the right shape. These are pretty good at this point, which for me is unusual because usually my nails break really easy. So I have like all sorts of wacky stuff going on. I'm gonna put on two different kinds today. I've got two nails, as you can see, they're clear. And I'm gonna put on just a solid color red. Solids are not my favorite to start with just because they're a little bit thinner, and I find they're a little harder to work with just at the beginning until you kind of get the swing of things. So I usually started and practiced a lot more on glitters because I think the glitters are a little bit thicker, so they're a little bit easier if you need to kind of stretch them to the side. If you're trying to put them on, they don't tear, they don't buckle up as much. So it's a little easier just to start there. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take off, kind of measure which size you need. This is the size that's gonna be perfect for here. You can see that the strips come in all sorts of different sizes, and there's more than you really need. So this is a set that I actually had and resealed. I had used it for probably an accent nail somewhere along the line because there's not too much done out of here. And then I'm using this as another accent. So I'm gonna take off the one that basically fits the size of nail that I'm gonna do. And then I peel off, you can see there's a clear plastic. So you peel off the clear plastic, put that aside to throw away. I find these stuck all over the place when I'm doing it. And then there's the little silver tab that's attached to the actual nail strip. So you're gonna pull that off the backing as well. Now, I know some people take this part off. I tend to use it to kind of hold, so I'm not holding onto the nail strip itself as often. So it kind of helps maintain the adhesive on the back. So that's why I do it that way. But you can take it off if you want to. And my biggest, okay, look up at me. My biggest takeaway when doing these is don't stress it. Nick, my cameraman's getting a little aggressive. Don't stress it. I don't overthink it. I do it as neatly as I can, but honestly, and I was telling a friend of mine, if I've got friends who are taking my nails and looking this close at them, we've got a problem to begin with. And to be honest, you know, they're not perfect for me a lot of times, but I love them, and the designs especially are super cute. So nobody ever really notices if it's off slightly one little bit here or there. So what you do, okay, once you've got that down, Nick, once you've got it off the tab, you're gonna kind of put the back of the nail strip to the back of your nail. And see, they're easy. You can pick them back up. So until you get them really adhered, you can kind of move them around a little bit. And I usually start at the back, not over the cuticle, kind of right up to it, but not over it. And then I start from one side and I kind of pull it. So it's down on one side, and then I roll it over and just kind of pull on this side until it's all the way over to that side of my nail. And then I flatten it out. And once I've got it kind of flattened out, sorry, I'm gonna take that off of there. Once I've got it flattened out, then what I do is I use my thumb. I always start with my pinky and my smaller fingers and work towards my thumb, because your thumb is basically your tool. So once I get to this point, I can take it and I just make sure that I pinch it off underneath the nail on the finger that I'm working with. And I do that so that it kind of gives me enough area at the end so that it's nice and smooth. See? And I'll leave that. I won't even mess with it for the rest of the time I do my nails. I start with my pinkies, work all the way through. Don't try and file them until I'm all done with all of my nails. Once I'm done with all of my nails, then I'll go back and file and make sure that they're filed down at the end. But it gives them a good time to adhere, because it's usually about 5 minutes, like I said, 5-10 minutes for me to do it. And then they're finished. And I know I'm not gonna be pulling them up if I'm filing them. And you always wanna make sure when you do file them that you kind of start from the top and file down this way. And like I said, I normally wouldn't do this, but you're gonna wanna file that way from underneath the nail so that you're not pulling them off. Okay, so that's the glittered one. And I see I have an extra little bit there. I can put it on this nail. Since I do have this one cleared off too, I figured I would try and do this one too. But again, you're just gonna start from the back, give it one side up to the side of the nail, and then just pull it over to the other, smooth it down. And then once it's on, and this one's a little tighter because it was a little smaller, and I can just clip off that last little bit with my thumbnail. And then when I'm all done, I'll file that down. So, and I've got 2 sparkly ones to go with my pretty manicure. And then the last one I want to show you is just the solid color. Okay, look up. The solid color one. Solid colors, I usually use a lot of solid colors for accent nails, but if you like solid colors, they have some gorgeous, like this is a really pretty red. It was one of my favorites when we did it, and I'm thinking it's Beijing Beauty. It's not on the back of it. I must have cut that part off. But it was just a really pretty bright red that worked with a lot of the patriotic sets I did this summer. So I really liked it. And again, I'm just gonna pick one that's about the right size. That one might actually be a little too big. My pinky nails are this kind of weird shape or size. They're in between the bigger size and the tiny little pinky. Like, they don't fit. So I'm gonna try one that's just a little bit bigger, because I'll show you what I do with the cuticle areas. Okay. So again, we're gonna take off the plastic, take off the silver part. I'm gonna hold it, I usually hold it like this so that I've got a little bit at the end to put down, and just try and get it. I'm gonna put it all the way to the end, right up to my cuticle, but not over it. Bring it down on one side, just like I did the other one. And just the only difference with the solids is that you just have to be a little bit more careful making sure that you're not getting wrinkles in it, because that'll happen because it's a little bit thinner. And with this one, what I'm gonna do is, because I've got a little bit over that edge, I'm gonna kind of tuck it on the side with my thumbnail to make sure that it's in there. And I also just kind of break off that little bit. But I'm just gonna kind of smooth it down really good. And then again, make sure I come up underneath the nail to break it off. And it's pretty smooth, I think. So the one thing I'll need to do is, again, I just kind of work it into the cuticle on the side and kind of push it down until I know it's really, really down in there firm. And then I'll break off that little bit of edge off the side. And sometimes that takes a little bit more effort, but not a lot. And there you go. And there's my solid. So that's my basic technique. And again, once I'm done, I'll give these about 5 minutes. Typically, by the time I'm done with my thumbs, I can go back and start filing my my smaller nails and get them all perfect. But I'm gonna give these about 5 minutes. But I'm gonna go eat lunch with my son, and I'm gonna go, I probably won't wash dishes. I'll give that about an hour. But I can get up, I can write, I can pull my fingers through my hair. Look, see, nothing's catching now, and nothing got messed up. That's the great beauty of it. So again, if you guys have any questions, need any help with it, just let me know. It's just my technique. And then when I'm done, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put all these back into this little container. These are great, and I will use my hot iron or my flat iron, and I will just zip right at the end and seal them again, and get yet another wear out of them. So thanks everybody, have a great day. Bye.